What going on, guys? Commander here, and welcome to another Let's Play on PC Building Simulator. Now, no more advances have actually gone into this game since I last recorded it that I'm aware of. But the only reason why I wanted to do it again was because I slightly mucked up last time on a number of things. Now, since then, I've actually managed to access the entire tutorial. I actually attempted to do it in the video, but the game crashed while I was recording, and such. My recording software didn't like it because I was using Game Recorder. But anyway, so I know now what we need to do. Now, if it actually comes up and says that that there's a tutorial ready for me, then I'll just quit it. But basically, what I didn't realise beforehand was the standoffs. No, there's no tutorial. Right, that's fine. Something I didn't realise beforehand was that the standoffs were basically the base of the screws that the motherboard goes into. Hence why I couldn't install them beforehand, because I'd already had the motherboard put in. So that is slightly annoying. So I'm just basically going to follow that tutorial as best as I can. But what happened was, which is why I actually needed to restart the game anyway, was because when I had finished the tutorial, it said start discovering things for yourself, but the game actually sort of had a mental block and decided to not let me add anything else in. So we are going to try different things now. I basically, it was a 20-minute recording. I put everything up together. I'd inserted everything that I possibly could, added all the cables in and whatnot, but I hadn't added anything else. I just basically done that, and I hadn't added in things like disk drives, extra cooling fans, etc. So that was the bit of a pain in the backside. Now, if you want to see, now the specs of this PC were basically going to be exactly the same as the specs of the last PC, just a bit more finished. So with a few more coolers, some more DVD drives, etc., just making it look a bit more cleaner. So if you want to see the specs of the computer, I might put it in the description of this video. But if I don't, there will be a link to the first PC Building Simulator video in the description down below, and there is a big chunk under PC specs, which will have the entire specs of this PC that we've built, and the one we did in the last episode. Also, I'm not going to go on a massive geek chat. I will do a few bits and bobs with talking about computers and whatnot, because I find them really, really interesting to build. They're really, really fun. I'm currently currently saving up my money to build, because I got given a old desktop PC. Now, that you may have seen it briefly on Twitter, because I mentioned I put it in my tweet. I'm going to be expanding my abilities yet again by building my own PC. Now, I'm not going to be building a stupidly high-tech PC, but it's good enough. I'm using a website called PC Part Picker. If anybody who's watching this video is thinking of building a PC, I would highly and very strongly advise that you use this website called PC Part Picker. The link to that will also be in the description down below. And basically what PC Part Picker does is it gives you a list of everything that you could possibly need for a computer. Some things are not required. So let's say with me, I've already got a case and a power supply, so I'm not going to need those. So all I need is a new motherboard, new CPU with integrated graphics, and etc, etc, as I need it. But if you want to start from scratch, you will need a case, a power supply, etc, etc, etc. But what it's got that I really like is it's got a built-in compatibility filter, which basically means once you've got your case, your power supply, your memory, your case, your power supply, and your motherboard, it will only show CPUs, RAM, and graphics cards that are only compatible with the stuff that you've already got. If it's not compatible, it won't show it. If you don't want the compatibility filter, you can switch it off and it'll show you the list of everything, but bear in mind it may not be compatible. So I'd advise, if you're looking to build a PC and you're looking for the type of things you could get, I would advise looking on that website first and having that compatibility filter on, otherwise you may end up making a bit of a mess of things. So enough with promoting other websites. So what have we done now? We've put the CPU in, and we've put thermal paste on, as we've just done there. So you can see this little blob. Thermal paste is a bit of a controversial thing of how much you need to put on. In all of my videos that I've watched about building computers and thermal paste, I've basically always seen that you should always use about a grain of rice worth of a amount of thermal paste. Some people say a pea size, some people say a grain of rice. But it really does depend. If you don't need a lot. Basically, what thermal paste is it's basically a heat conductor that takes heat from your CPU and basically conducts heat better between your CPU and your stock cooler, which I'm going to insert now. So if we go to cooling, stock cooler, so we put the stock cooler over the CPU, and thermal paste basically conducts the heat better to the stock cooler, so it evaporates the hot air out of your computer, which initially reduces the heat in your CPU, which is good in the long run. Oh bugger! I forgot to put on the thingamabob. The IO shield. Where is it? Where is it? Miscellaneous IO shield. Can I put that on? Can I take the motherboard off? No, I can't. Right. I'd also advise always putting on the IO shield beforehand. So, yeah. So what do we need now? Let's go into all items. DVD drive, don't need that for the minute. Simple fans, hard disk, drive cover, RAM. We'll get to the RAM in a second. That's the graphics cards. The thermal paste, we've already done that. Back panel, side panel. That's graphics cards, side panel, back panel, IO shield. Right, is that in all items? Yep, right. So what we're going to do now is put on the simple fans. I apologize if you couldn't hear me for that bit, because I had my hand covering my face. My mic was a bit near. Right, so we got the fan there, and fan. Can I put a fan there? It looks like there's a place for a fan. Or do I need to buy another one? I've got now a fan, simple fan. Can I go over here and buy anything more than a simple fan? All items. Simple fan. There we go. Is that possible? Simple fan. No. Oh well then. Okay, so 2 simple fans. And there really should be more fans in this. Right. So what have we got now? So simple fans, hard disks. We'll put in the RAM next. Now, the RAM, the CPU and the RAM are the 2 most important things, in my opinion, of a computer. And, yeah, the 2 most important things of a computer. CPU is slightly harder to put in, but because you got to remember to put it in the right way, otherwise you bend the pins of the CPU, and consequently you muck up your entire CPU and you have to get a new one. Unless you're really lucky and you can bend it back into position and it works fine. But if you're going to do that, be very careful. But RAM is, in my opinion, one of the next most important thing for your computer, but it's also the most easiest thing to put in. You basically slot RAM in, as I'm doing now. You just basically slot it in, and as you push it down, if it doesn't go in one way, turn around and it'll go in the other way. But as you push it in, it slots in, and the clips go up for you. So that is basically the installation of RAM. Now, as you probably saw, the RAM slots go black, blue, black, blue. It may be different for different motherboards, but this is a basic Asus motherboard. So it goes black, blue, black, blue. Now, the reason for that is that if you're putting in 2 RAM sticks, you have to put them in alternatively. So you have to put them in either blacks or blues. You don't put them in next to each other unless you're putting in 4. So you either put in 1 RAM stick, 2 RAM sticks, or 4 RAM sticks. You do not put in 3 because that doesn't work. You have to either 1, 3, or 4. 1, 2, or 4. Otherwise, it will not work. Most people have 1 8GB stick or 2 8GB sticks or 4 8GB sticks to make 32. That's why you never hear people that have 24 gigabytes of RAM. Because the only way of actually doing that properly is by having 3 8 gig sticks. And that does not work. You can't have that. So it goes 8, 16, 32, and then 64. You can't have 24 gigabytes of RAM because that would mean you need 3 8 gig stick slots done. Because it goes up in doubles. So it goes 2, 4, 6, 8. 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64. That's how it goes. So you can't have 3 sticks. You have to either have 1, 2, or 4. I made that more complicated than it needs to be. That's besides the point. Right. Asus graphics cards. These are quite chunky. I'm not going to lie. You've got your VGA and HDMI. I'll have a look at the ports in a second. Right. What else? DVD-RW drive, simple fans, hard disk drives, back panel, thermal paste drive covers, side panel, and I/O shield. We can't do the I/O shield. Right. Let's put in the hard disks. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. And now let's put in the DVD drive. So let's just slide these across so we can put the DVD drives in. 1, 2, and 3. So now we can put in the drive covers. Oh no, we don't need drive covers. We've got 3 DVD drives in there. That's fine. That's if let's say we got 1 drive. So let's say we got 1 drive. The drive covers are to cover up the spaces where the drives are not. I mean, realistically, what do you want 3 drives for? But since I've got 3 there, I may as well just put them in. Right. So. What else do we need? We've got back panel, side panel. We can't put in the I/O shield. Can't put in any drive covers. Right, so now what I think is necessary is the wiring. Now, what's unmount? Can we unmount the... right. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to unmount this. Take that out. Can I take the motherboard out? Right, what I'm going to do quickly is I'm going to unmount the motherboard and put in the I/O shield, and then we'll be back once I've done that. Alright guys, I'm back. Now, I had to restart the game because it decided to crash on me for some weird reason. I managed to keep that back, the last gameplay, so that'll be still there. Or I hope it is anyway. So this is the I/O shield. Now it goes there. Now I think the reason why the I/O shield exists is basically to give the components of a motherboard, so the ports, so let's say the audio, video, etc., a bit more stability. Now I haven't built my PC yet. I'm still saving up for the components. But a lot of people, everybody says you need the I/O shield. It's called various different things, but you need that. It comes with your motherboard and you definitely need it. And given what I can see here, I can see why. So it just basically gives it a bit more stability. Which is fine. So I'm going to go and put everything else back where it came from. So I'll be back once I've done it. Alright guys, I'm back. Now, we have got... Now, I made one little change. I put everything back where it should be. Now, the only one thing I've changed is I've put 2 disk drives instead of 3, just so I've got an excuse to use the drive fan, just to show you what it's like. So it basically just takes the place of the DVD drive. So, yeah. So now, what we're going to do now is going to be doing a bit of cabling. Now, on here, it says mount. I don't know what mount is, but anyway, cabling. So, cabling is harder, is easier than people say that it is. In the sense that if you know where things go, it only goes where it's supposed to go. It will not go where it won't go. So you can't plug the GPU into the fan, or you can't plug the hard disk drive into the CPU or something, or whatever. You can't. It only goes in the way it should go in. Like, so here, like graphics cards, if you look there, I can't go in any further, and if I crouch down, that's a bit useless. But if you look, GPUs have a 8-pin and a 6-pin. So, and on the other side of the cable, you will have the 6-pin and 8-pin PCI-E cables, which go in. I can't actually see where it goes, but it will go into the motherboard. If I very quickly unmount this GPU. Oh no, it goes into the power supply, look. So it goes into that power supply. Actually, I'm only going to have one GPU just so I can see everything else that's going on. So, we're only going to have one GPU. But if we look, it goes into the power supply. But the other side, so here we got the 8-pin, and that goes into the power supply as well. But it'll only go where it needs to go. It will not go where it can't go. If that makes sense. So that's the GPU. So what have we got here? This, I believe, is the 2024 pin. Yep, which goes into the power supply. Now you can see with big, powerful PCs, you can see why power supplies are basically the energy of a computer. They need to be as powerful as the things you're going to put in there. Because if you're using a massive high-spec gigabyte gaming motherboard, or an Asus gaming motherboard with a NVIDIA GTX 1080 Ti graphics card and a Intel i5 770K processor with 4 SSDs that are all going to be plugged into a 500 watt power supply, that is not going to work. That is not going to be good enough. You're going to have to get a better power supply. But again, power supplies are generally, again, if you use the website that I mentioned at the start, PC Part Picker, it should give you some idea. There might be other websites, but I've had a look at PC Part Picker and it seems to be perfectly fine. I'd also, if you're on PC Part Picker, go through everything first. So buy your case, your motherboard, then your CPU and everything, and do it in a bit of an order. And one of the things I would recommend is doing your power supply last. So then everything has been considered and all the power that's taken from that, and then you can see your power supply that is powerful enough to go with everything else. But anyway, because otherwise you may find yourself getting the power supply first with the case, and then if it's only, let's say, 500 watt power supply, you will only be getting components that are compatible with a 500 watt power supply, and you may not be getting the best results. So power supply last. In my advice, don't have to listen to me at all. I doubt you will actually. Now, can I do anything with these DVD drives? You got a little power supply thingy down there. That's HDMI, that's VGA. I can't remember what that is. No, it's not. That's not VGA. That's DVI. You come on and get your cables right. Can't do that. Right. So now we're going to wire up the. I have still got a bit of wiring still up on the motherboard as well. Right. So now we're going to wire up the SATA drives. So this is the power one, and this is just a SATA drive. So the power one goes straight into the power supply. Straight into the power supply. The SATA one, the SATA one goes into the motherboard, which basically communicates the hard disk drives to the motherboards. Now, realistically, you don't really need any more than 2 hard drives, assuming you've got quite big ones. Most people, I've got my internal hard drive, which is a hard disk drive, and then I've got my external hard drive, which I just use for transferring various different files or keeping large files I don't want on my computer. I mainly did have it for my old computer, because my old computer only had 148 gigabytes of storage, and I wanted something bigger to hold all my videos. But yeah, most people have a hard disk drive as a main drive for most things, for most normal things, and they also have a solid state drive as a backup drive, or a like a external like a backup drive or a fast drive, for like any extra things that they need that requires extra like building. That makes sense. Now I believe that's everything we need. So I believe that we actually can put. No, that's the side. No, I need the back panel. No. Okay, right. We'll ignore. Actually, no, because I'm mounting things still. I'm still cabling things. I need to go back into the mounting section. Now this, I believe, is the EPS cable. Yep. Now that directs. Now that goes from your motherboard directly to your power supply, which powers the motherboard and basically gives the CPU a bit more power than it needs to. I mean, basic CPUs don't need huge amounts of power, but some of the more advanced ones, like let's take for instance the i7-770K, that needs a lot of power because it's a really good and powerful processor, but it still needs that equal amount of power. Now, I believe that is it. I just need to put on what I'm actually going to do. Unless I swear I need to cable up the CD drives. I swear I do. Nah, stuff it. Never mind. Can I cable up? Yeah, so if you look, here's the that's the Ethernet cable. That's the power supply. So that goes into the back over there. The Ethernet cable goes into there. Now I don't think the games is so advanced at the moment that you can actually wire it up properly. But I think eventually, when the game actually fully releases, when it fully releases on Steam or wherever, I will buy it and we'll do a full playthrough of it and have it hooked up to a PC and whatnot, and see the game in its full release. But what I'm going to do now is I want to see if I can. Oh wait a minute, I've missed something. I saw that. That's a Molex. No, it's not. That's a fan cable. Yep, right, that's a fan cable. I think that's for the SATA drive. I've actually missed a fan cable, and it's this one up here. No, that's a fan cable. That's for the that's for the stock cooler. I believe there's a couple more fan cables around. Let me just click around, just see if I've missed anything. No, that's the EPS one. Have I missed? No, that's control, Commander. Have I missed anything? No, I don't believe I've. I know these fans. I know these fans need powering as well, but I don't think the game's got that advanced that it actually has you wire up the fans as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in the other GPU. Right. I'm going to turn this. I'm going to now cable this GPU up now if I can. Can I cable it up? Yep, right, that's the 8 pin, I can't see it. And this is a 6 pin. Right, so now we go into mounting, so we can put things on. So we should have side panel, install side panel, lovely. Oh, that's nice. I believe those require other standoffs. I think we need to buy some more standoffs for that. But we'll work with that in a second. And this is the back panel. Lovely. We've actually built the PC properly. Now, I believe, if we go into the shop, can we buy, well, what other things can we buy? Hard disk, simple fan, dummy CPU. I don't know. Apparently, we don't need to screw things in. Have we got anything else left? DVD hard drive, simple fan, drive cover, thermal paste. Nope, right, that's all the things that we need. So, again, this game is still in very early demos, so I don't expect it to be stupidly accurate. ridiculously accurate. When it does fully come out, we will do a let's play on it, but that is the actual thing fully done and completed to the best of my ability that I can actually do. So that was a lot better than the last one we did. Again, the specs are pretty much exactly the same. If you want to see a video of me talking on about gibberish and getting things wrong and putting the thing together wrong, but talking a bit more sense in what I'm doing and in the way of technical things and where things go. I mean, I've done it a bit in this video, but I did it more in the last video. Then go to the last video, it's in the description down below. PC part picker is also in the description down below. In the last video is the specs of the PC in the description. So I hope excuse me, you find this useful. If you need any assistance, type in a comment down below and I'll try my best to help you. Bear in mind, if I'm not the best with the insides of computers. Again, I haven't built one yet. I'm going to. I hope I'm going to. I'm pretty sure that I will. That's my plan anyway. So, if you did enjoy that... Sorry, that is about all we have time for the test video here. Sorry about that. I hope you enjoyed me going on a little bit of a discussion with computers and going on a bit of like a geek talk. If you did enjoy, don't forget to smash the like button and hit that subscribe button for more awesome gaming content. When this game fully comes out, I will be doing a full let's play on it, and yeah, that should hopefully be fine. So, I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I shall see you all later. Bye!